Hey there everyone, welcome to After Hours Gaming League's tournament. We are in week 2. We just had a great game between Box Blue and I believe it was SunQuest Information Systems. But yeah, I just actually had to look over on my notebook right there. But we're into another game. It's gonna be Slalom Consulting versus IBM. IBM's gonna be on the red side with Slalom on the blue side. If you don't know by now, my name is Desifresh. So let's do some introductions as we get into this game. In that top lane for Slalom, it's going to be Tick Toxic playing Mundo. In the jungle, it's going to be Tofu Salad playing Udyr. That mid lane is going to be Oriana played by Train of K. And then that bottom lane is going to be made up of Fearless Pants and Seven Eyes 22 playing Sivir and Jenna. Then, if you look on the team of IBM, that top lane is going to be Coco Rocha on a champion that we actually saw him play about 2 weeks ago. Well, not really 2 weeks ago. It's actually close to a month ago now. It's going to be Teemo. Then, in that jungle, it's going to be Zaxi on the Sejuani. That mid lane is going to be Fizz, played by Death Knight. Then that bottom lane will be Perform LSF and Kikubo on Caitlyn and Soraka. And really, this is the odd overall pick that we're seeing right now in this game. Definitely has to be that Teemo. He actually did play to some success in their last game. He actually... IBM actually did end up winning. I'm not too sure who they played against. I'll have to look over onto that later. But he's bringing back that Teemo, and Mundo should have a little bit of a harder time against him. He will have the cleavers to kind of poke out that Teemo. Teemo, if he's playing smart, he'll just play to the minions, stand behind them, throw out the poke whenever it's available, and he should be able to do fairly well in that lane. If we look in that bottom lane, the Soraka Caitlyn versus Sivir Jenna, definitely it's just a kind of a skill matchup right there. Sivir, it will be able to poke out, will be poked out by that Caitlyn. That's already an unfavorable lane for the Sivir because Caitlyn already has an enormous range compared to all the other AD carries, and Sivir has a very short range compared to the other AD carries. So that's definitely not a lane that Sivir already wants to be in. When you couple that with the Janna, who will have very minimal sustain, it's not looking too good. The Soraka is just going to continue poking out whenever it's available. And look at that. Fearless Pants already taken down to half health. Soraka taking down to half health as well, but she does have the Starfall to heal herself back up. Meanwhile, Death Knight and Train of K trading blows in that mid lane. They are pretty good. That's actually Death Knight forcing that Oriana away. Meanwhile, if we look on the top side, Teemo, Coco Rocha poking down Tick Toxic. He isn't too unhealthy, but being pushed against that tower isn't going to help him out in terms of farming. Meanwhile, Death Knight using that Righteous Strike, jumping in onto Train. I'll just put some poke down and continue that farm. Right now, farm is fairly even all across the board with actually Teemo, Coco Rocha doing fairly well for himself. Only 4 for Tick Toxic, with Coco Rocha having 11. A bit of a trade. In that bottom side, actually, Fearless Pants taken fairly low. There's that level 3 hit by the Soraka and Caitlyn. And since Soraka is actually getting fairly low for herself, she has to be careful when healing platform, since her heal does cost her own health right now. That's actually the flash going on by the Tick Toxic. The flash coming out from Teemo as well. He had the ignite to take him down, and the auto attack is just going to secure first blood for Coco Rocha. And I'm not too sure what happened with Tick Toxic right there. He kind of sat in that bush to put a ward down, and that allowed Teemo to just continue the aggression. Not too sure. He does pick up 2 of those rejuve beads to keep himself alive. Oh, we have Tofu Salad being caught out by Death Knight. See, Urchin Strike gonna go down. There is a troll pull. Oriana joining the fight to save her friendly neighborhood man, Bear Pig. It looks as though Death Knight is gonna be forced away from that Oriana. Oh, there's a flash coming out. He flash coming out from Soraka as well to dodge the orb. And Tofu Salad, oh, he's taking so low, the build over Peacemaker. There's the flash coming out, as well as the heal to give him the movement speed boost. He wants a kill onto someone, but the Sivir will force him away. So many aggressive plays made by both of these teams. Fearless Pants, he's just going to continue farming up in that lane, throwing out the Boomerang Blitz whenever it's available, looking for something. Meanwhile, Kikubo healing up platform LSF as best as he can, but that is just going to come at the cost of his own health as well. He is just going to be going back right now, and I don't think... Let's just see what he picks up. Yep, he picks up a pickaxe for himself right now. Platform LSF, if we look at how much gold he has, he's sitting on 1,000 gold. When he does end up going back, which is going to be fairly soon, he's not going to be sitting on too much as well. When Soraka does end up coming back, though, she should be able to heal him back up, and he could still stay relevant in that lane and possibly farm up until she picks up the BF sword. Meanwhile, Death Knight hasn't gone back just yet. Does have that Playful Trickster to avoid some extra damage, but right now, Oriana does have the advantage in that lane with the superior health. She actually does have the... She actually has more items as well with that Null Magic Mantle as well as the Fairy Charm. Death Knight goes in, uses the Troll Pull. There's the Flash going to be used, but since Oriana brought Barrier instead of Ignite, he wasn't able to secure the kill. That is just going to force Death Knight away from that lane. Meanwhile, Fearless Pants trying to duel out that kill and Pilled over Peacemaker, not going to connect. That's Fearless Pants in a 2v1 situation with the addition of Janna, making it a 2v2. Putting Kikubo so low. He needs to be careful. Those star calls need to hit. And there's the Arctic Assault going to be hit down by Train of K. And there's a flash coming out from him, but he flashed underneath the tower. Train of K picks up the kill onto Zaxim. Not too sure what just happened right there. He flashed in for absolutely no reason, and he gave a kill over to that mid laner. Death Knight definitely not happy about that. That he's just going to back away from now. Looks like Fearless Pants putting a lot of aggression down onto platform. Seven Eyes just going to be eating that biscuit. Meanwhile, Kokorocha and that top lane continuing to zone out Tick Toxic. Level 7 compared to level 5. It's just not looking too good for that Mundo. And there definitely needs to be some Udyr intervention in that top lane. And no, Udyr is not kill, guys. That is just a word. I could say Udyr needs to intervene in that top lane. I guess that would be a better phrase right there. Right now, the Caitlyn definitely just needs to avoid those fights and just continue to farm. She is down in those items. She only has that Dorn's Blade, while Fearless Pants has that pickaxe as well. In an extended fight, Fearless is just going to win. And since Kikubo is at a already low amount of health, he can't really heal up platform anymore. There it is. TikTok does hit that level 6 mark, so he should be able to stay in that lane a little bit longer, but he needs a Spirit Visage, something to deal with the magic damage that's been coming out from Teemo this game. And with the Amplifying Tome as well as a Ruby Crystal, he's going to be getting that Haunting guys first, and that's just going to be melting through whatever magic resist Udyr, whatever magic resist that Mundo picks up. So he's desperately going to need something. Death Knight trying to roam, actually going to be met with a pink ward. Just going to clear that out for his team. Tick Toxic actually going to be forced away from that lane. He has the teleport to just go back, so he won't be losing out on too much, but with only 16 CS at the 9-minute mark, it's not looking too good. Here comes Sejuani. He has her ultimate available. It's not going to go out. There it is. It's going to be locking down onto that Caitlyn. There's platform picking up the first kill. Now Fearless Pants. There's the spell shield blocking the pills over Peacemaker, but it's not going to take that kill. Right now, Train of K putting a little bit of the poke onto Death, and he is just going to shrug it off and continue the aggression. He was looking for something onto that Sivir, but the slow was enough to allow her to escape. With the kill that they managed to pick up, you would expect them to go for a dragon, but no, they'll just back away from that. Right now, Platform LSF, he's sitting on 2,500 gold. He'll be going out getting that BF sword, and he actually picked up something else as well. He's actually going to be a pickaxe. He's looking very powerful. Meanwhile, looks like Death Knight goes in. There is the lobster, but it's not going to connect. Not far enough. Go back away from that. And I'm not sure if I completely agree with this build by Caitlyn. I think the BF Sword and the pickaxe would have been a lot better than the BF Sword, a second Doran's Blade, and boosts his speed. If anything, if you didn't want to get the the pickaxe, he could have just sat on the extra 475 gold that he got. 400 gold, or I guess it'd be 450 gold, 425 of the Doran's Blade. Just getting the second Doran's Blade was just really unnecessary. He's already been winning these trades, and Sivers actually doing fairly well for herself, keeping up in that CS game. Unfortunately for her, 7 though, just hasn't been able to provide as big of an impact as Soraka has, keeping platform alive in that lane. Even in unfavorable trades, they come out ahead. Right now, that bottom lane, oh, a little regression. We're going to be jumping over to that mid lane with Tofu Salad actually catching out Death Knight. He does pop the Ghost as well. There's the flash coming out from that Fizz. He's going to be stunned up by the Orianna, using the Urchin Strike to jump in, pick up a kill, help actually Udyr pick up the kill. There's the Orianna falling down to Kokorocha for a double kill onto that Teemo already. Right now, on the hunt, gonna be popped by Fearless Pants. He does not want to get caught out by that Kaylin, and Kikubo taken fairly low. Right now, Ace in the Hole is not gonna be available for platform LSF. He actually did use that previously, but forcing that Sivir Janna away from that lane is just going to allow them to take down that tower. There's a ward being put down by that Soraka. Platform LSF looking very strong for herself right now. Kokorocha just completely putting down so many mushrooms, and it's going to be even more difficult for that Udyr to get a gank off in that top lane. It looks as though Udyr's just completely given up. 26 farm compared to the 73 of that Teemo. This is looking so good for him. Right now, platform just poking out that Sivir whenever it's available with the auto attacks, and she's just going to continue farming up. Now she's actually picked up a CS lead, and it's going to be transitioning over to that mid lane as well, with Death Knight picking up about 15 CS lead for himself as well. Now TikTok, he's very, very close to dying. He has that teleport still available, and he's not used it yet. I'm so surprised as to why he's been holding on to it. TikTok taking solo. There's the blinding dart, and a kill going over to Kokorocha in that top lane. Meanwhile, Death Knight looking for something, being really aggressive. The fish is not going to be coming out. Well, it's actually more of a lobster. The lobster is not going to be coming out from him, and I think he'll just be able to back away from that. Udyr actually being caught out in the enemy jungle. There is a ward being spotted out by Death Knight, but he wants to go in for the kill onto Orianna. There's the lobster. It's going to be locking him down, and Earth coming up. Urchin Strike going to be put down. A lot of damage. Ignite is going to be taking. Playful Trickster and the Sea Stone Trident will give him that kill, and he's already has a Sheen. He'll be going back and be buying more components of that Lich Bane if he hasn't completed it already. Meanwhile, on that top side, that's a flash coming out from TikTok, but with the amount of Teemo mushrooms that have been put down in that lane, he's just going to be walking into one after another, and he's going to fall again. Meanwhile, Tofu Salad trying to duel out that Fizz, but he is just so powerful. He can't, and he's already low on mana. Fighting in the enemy minion wave is not the smartest idea. He does have that red buff for the bird, but Death Knight, he should be able to win that fight. If he actually does try to go for the fight, it's going to turn out in a 1-for-1. He goes in, has a troll pole, just a little bit of poke, forcing the Udyr away. Kaylin, platform LSF does end up going back and picks up that pickaxe for herself, but she's losing it on this trade actually. Fearless Pants taking her very low. The Soraka will be there for the heal, and she's actually going to use the heal out of Fearless Pants as well. The Ace in the Hole taking her down low enough to force out. The Arctic Assault was used by Zaxi along with the Glacial Prison, so they're just going to back away from that. They're actually going to make movements towards the dragon. There's really not too much that Slalom team can do to stop this. Sejuani is fairly low on mana with, Death Knight going in on to Tofu Salad. There is Earth for the damage. Shockwave is going to be hitting, but it's only going to hit Kokorocha. Tofu Salad trying to escape, but there's the Urchin Strike to pick up that kill. that is just going to force Orianna away. She's actually met with the aggression by Platform LSF. Meanwhile, the Dragon has just been taken down by that Sejuani. They take that Dragon, and they're going to be looking for something. They see Train of K and 7. There's Kokorocha going in. The Ignite is going to be taken. The Howling Gale will be there, but it doesn't matter because Kokorocha takes the kill. Meanwhile, Death Knight goes in onto Fearless Pants. The Urchin Strike is actually going to be forcing the Flash out of that Sivir. It's actually trying to go in onto that, but they are not going to be able to find a TikTok. Meanwhile, in that top lane, just trying to farm it out. He's actually picked up that CS lead. He has 50 for himself compared to the 100 of Kokorocha. He'll just be farming it up as best as he can. He picks up 2 crystalline bracers actually, so it looks as though he's actually building a Warmogs as his first item, and I really do think that the Spirit Sage would have been a better pickup, because not only will it give him magic resist to defend against that Teemo, it'll also increase any healing done. So once he pops his ultimate, he'll just be healing for a lot more than he originally would have. Meanwhile, Tofu Salad, he's caught out by that Caitlyn trap. They know he's there, but sticking around for a little bit too long. That's just a kill going over to Death Knight on that Fizz. Now, 3 members in that mid lane. They're going to try and go for something. That's the flash coming out from Fizz. Ace in the hole is going to be used as well. The barrier just being eaten through. The Ignite is ticking. It looks as though Train of K will be able to escape that. Death Knight, he's going to take quite a bit of damage from that Sivir, but he's just going to back away as if nothing ever happened. Platform trying to duel out that Sivir. There is Sejuani. The ultimate is going to connect, but it's not going to get a stun down onto anyone. Tick Toxic going to be met with 3 members of the IBM team. The Cleaver is going to be going down. He's just going to be forced away from that situation. And it looks as though IBM has just completely taken control of Slalom's jungle. There's nothing that they can do to stop them from that. Teemo just going to be pushing out. Looks like Udyr looking to take a kill onto Kokorocha. That's the flash coming out from him. He does not want to get caught out by Tofu Salad, because he knows that he actually has a chance of taking the kill. This is a really interesting build coming out from Udyr this game. Poacher's Knife into Juggernaut enchantment. He hasn't really been doing any counter jungling, so just by picking up that item, it's a very strange build to see. And there's that Warmogs being completed by Tick Toxic. I like the Leandri's Torment coming out from that team. I mean, he also finishes up that Morella Namakan as well. So Kokorocha looking very, very strong for his team. Meanwhile, it looks like Death Knight hasn't even completed that Lichbane. Yeah, he is gonna opt for some defensive with that Zanya's. So just to survive in these team fights that, at this point, if they do end up happening, are going to be completely one-sided. Tofu Salad going to take a lot of aggression from Kokorocha, just jumping away. He has Orianna to back him up, but he still does not want to fight them. Meanwhile, in that top lane, Tick Toxic just going to try and farm it up, but it's not going to look too good. Kokorocha just going to prevent any chances of that happening. Sejuani, that's a really interesting build from Sejuani as well. She's actually opted for the Devourer's enchantment. Usually on Sejuani, she's kind of a utility jungler, so you would expect the Juggernaut enchantment to come out just for a lot of extra tankiness, as well as tenacity. I believe the Juggernaut gives you tenacity, if I'm incorrect. Yeah, it does give you tenacity. So going for the Devourer's enchantment, that kind of just gives you the implication that she's just going to sit in the jungle and farm up. That's really not what's been happening. She's actually provided a bit of impact in those lanes. And so it's kind of an interesting pickup. She also has the Giant's Belt as well as the Chain Vest, so it looks as though she's going to be picking up a Sunfire Cape just for a bit of extra armor. Meanwhile, Tick Toxic taking a lot of aggression from Kokorocha, being forced away. He's just going to continue pushing down onto that tower. The poison from his auto is actually making aggro go towards him. There's Caitlyn making quick work of that tower. There's Death Knight going in onto Train of K. There's the Monsoon knocking him away, but there's the Glacial Prison locking them all down. And there's double kill going on to Death Knight. That's just the one kill going over to platform. That's 4 members going to be pushing down that mid lane. Kokorocha just going to make his way to that top side to take it down. Death Knight walking a little bit too far. He's going to be falling to Fearless Pants. The rest of the IBM team, they're just going to avenge their teammate's death with a tower in that mid lane. They are up 11,000, around 11,000 gold right now. It is looking very, very good for this IBM team. Dragons up in 20 seconds. They are going to be making movements to that objective, and taking that away is just going to increase the gold lead even further. Teemo trying to take out that tower. It's not... Oh, one more hit. Kokorocha, though, taking a lot of aggression from Fearless Pants. The red buff is ticking, and I don't think he wants to fall to that Sivir. Udyr and Orianna trying to stop this from actually happening. Kikubo is fairly low, but the meal damage is coming out from platform LSF. There is a ward in that bush, so they seem going down the net to knock him away, and it looks as... Oh, there's actually the ace in the hole being used. Chang'e are down to half health. Tofu Salad gonna eat the Arctic Assault, and Earth down onto 7 Eyes. That's one kill. Going over onto Death Knight. Platform LSK getting the auto attacks for the second. Kokorocha getting the third. They're just gonna be sharing the wealth. 3 members of the IBM team picking 3 kills for themselves. That's also going to be the Dragon. Kokorocha doesn't need to help his team at this point. He's so far ahead. He has the most kills on his team, but whoever is there is more than enough to deal with whoever Slalom sends out to fight them. Tech Toxic finally putting some damage onto that top lane tower. It looks like the Kokorocha, he is just going to continue the pressure for Tech Toxic, willing him down so much. The Ignite is ticking. He deals more damage. He deals damage faster than that Mundo can actually heal up. He's level 12 compared to level 14 of Kokorocha, and the Liandry's is just melting through that Mundo so fast. He can't survive no matter what he does. I feel really bad for him. And Udyr as well. He's 0-5-0, doing just as bad for his team. Right now, Slalom need to put vision coverage so they don't get caught out. There is Fearless Pants getting caught out by platform LSF. The auto attacks getting the kill onto Jenna, and the ace in the hole getting a kill onto that Sivir. There's the Glacial Prison going to be used by Zaxi. Tofu Salad will have the base gates to just allow him to escape. Platform LSF going to be taking up that laser beam for a little bit of time, but the minions are there, allowing her to just help her team take down that tower. It's actually going to be going over to Kikubo. There is Earth going down on to take Toxic. Shockwave is going to connect, doing quite a bit of damage, but Zaxi is definitely strong enough to just tank that damage. This inhibitor tower is going to be falling. On the Hunt has been used by Fearless Pants. Platform LSF doesn't even care that Sivir is pounding down onto her, because here comes Death Knight looking for the kill. He does have that troll pull, and there's the kill going down onto Sivir. It looks as though Jen actually picked up a straight kill on to Kikubo. Now Platform LSF is in a 2v1 situation, but Death Knight with her just strike jumping over that wall to pick up a kill onto that Janna. He's just going to force IBM away. They don't... Oh my god, the burst that came out from Kokorocha right there. He has a Void Staff right there. Him and Death Knight absolutely blowing up Train of K. The power of this IBM team is absolutely amazing. Kokorocha just encroaching upon Slalom Accounting's base. They're just going to continue this assault over and over again. Death Knight being really cocky right there, taking quite a bit of damage from Fearless Pants. Only Hunt is not available, so Kokorocha should be able to get away from this. It doesn't look as though he actually wants to get away. sticking in this fight, looking for a kill onto someone. Train of K will be there. Is he actually going to turn around for this? Now AHGL, not going to be doing too much. Just zoning him away. Kokorocha. There's the knock up by the Howling Gale. Fearless Pants actually making the team-out flash right there. The Ultra Assault going to be used by Zaxi. That's 3 members down onto that Sejuani, and with no ultimate to lock them down, is not looking too good. There's the Starfall for the slow. Kokorocha is going to try and provide some sort of aggression, but there is a kill going over onto Platform SF, and there's a double kill going over. He actually gets that for himself. They're going to continue pushing down that mid lane, and with the super minions finally there, they can continue pushing in. They're actually going to be making movements towards that top side. They just want to take even more away from this Slalom team. Even more wards going down just for some vision coverage. Kalen, some auto attacks over that wall. Kikubo needs to be careful. He's so low. And he's been so low this entire game. Just prioritizing healing his teammates up over his own health. What a support right there. Tofu Salad, he's taken down fairly low. There's Death Knight picking up a kill. It's actually going to be Kokorocha. I believe that was the poison that took that. They're going to make quick work of that top lane inhibitor tower, and this inhibitor will fall as well. And the super minions are just going to continue pouring in. Tick Toxic, it looks as though he's actually going to fall. The Ignite, he's not going to fall. The Ignite is ticking, but it's not going to result in his death. Death Knight, though, will be taking a kill onto Seven Eyes. They're going to take that first Nexus Tower. This second Nexus Tower is going to fall as well. There's Ace Bolt going to be used by Kalen just to force away the Jenna momentarily. And now the minions are in the base. Death Knight taking down that Nexus, trying to get the kill. Udyr trying to prolong this game as long as possible, but this game is already over. Death Knight is just prioritizing this Nexus over everything else. He's actually turning on to that Udyr. Can he survive? He does, and there's the game going over to IBM after 27 minutes of hell for the Slalom team. It's just not looking too good for them. Hopefully they're able to come back in the next week, but that was just a great game played by IBM. Almost every single, no, not almost, every single lane won during that phase, and they just continue to snowball it, keeping the pressure up even in dangerous situations, and they only gave away 4 kills to the Slalom team. Well played. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow After Hours Gaming League and their various forms of social media. You can always still do the same for me as well. I'll be posting that all in the description below. And remember, I actually didn't mention who these teams are playing for. This is a charity tournament, and Slalom Consulting, they're going to be playing for Child's Play, while IBM, they're playing for Youth Service America. So, hope you guys have a great evening, and I hope you join me for another video.